Hey, so I've been challenged to share with you my story of how I can use these loops to measure my own progress and how they've been shown to me. And there's a lot of comedy in it, so I was hoping that I would find a way to share the funny parts of it without ruining any parts of the story. So, like, just to catch you up to now, basically, two ladies. We've got Two Face and Meth Mouth, and they wanted to get in on, their time with Meth Man. So, basically, everyone worked together to come up with these lies to get me out of my place that I lived in, so they could get rid of me, so they could move forward with their lives. So that being said, that catapulted me into a trip that I thought was going to last a week long. Ended up lasting over a month because my entire family abandoned me and would not return my phone calls, and no one would offer me any assistance. And as soon as I would figure out how to get myself out of the situation, something else would happen that would knock me back down. I returned to this huge mess of people just not even being able to put together what the truth, what even their false truths are. I can't even figure it out. So I'm busy trying to get paperwork together and things organized so that I can pursue, obviously, getting my character and respect from people back on track, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. So that led me to thinking about a really good example of the way that God kind of used metaphorical symbols to signify that I was on a loop was okay, so I'll put the blog post, the original blog post below this video, so that you can hear my original story. Basically, my Jeep got impounded and my wallet got stolen, so I was not able to travel, and I was not able to get the money together to get my Jeep at first. So I had about 3 days to wait for my new credit card to arrive, which had no balance on it. And that would give me enough time to find a hotel room, and maybe if I had to stay 2 or 3 days to figure out the paperwork with my Jeep, it was enough money to get my Jeep out and to fund my trip home. No problem. But about that time, Meth Man jumps in and steals my money, so I wasn't able to afford to get my Jeep out. So somewhere in there, I'm stranded on a mountain, because an Uber driver, I guess he's just trying to hit on me or whatever, picks me up and takes me to this remote mom and pop gas station. And so, I'm new to the area and I don't know what to do. I don't have any people. My phone is dead and I have no options, and I'm starving, and it's getting dark and I'm in the middle of the forest. And honestly, I was really, really scared. So I was told that the owner lived up the hill, blah, blah, blah. And needless to say, I begged him to call the cops because I was freezing and I had no clothes because they were in my Jeep and my Jeep had been impounded. So when they took me to jail, I was very, very thankful. And that's kind of back to you take something negative and turn it into something positive. I'd never been to jail before, but it was one of the best experiences that I've ever had, because obviously at that time I'm no longer worried about where I'm going to sleep and what I'm going to eat and whether I was going to be cold or not. So I had that relief gone, and I met this really, really awesome lady that we spent a good deal of our time together singing, and I don't remember what it's called, I guess the holding cell, and all of the police officers were really, really nice. They took my fingerprints 9 times, and I asked the guy, I was why are we doing my fingerprints again? And he's like, I just don't have anything else to do. So he was definitely flirting, but that worked out nicely, and I got a really nice hot meal, and I met later on the most important part about the story is later on, whenever I finally got into population, I wasn't given any of my belongings like all the other girls. The cop was picking on me, so he kept all my stuff, so I didn't have a hair tie, I didn't have anything that belonged to me, and it was fine though, because I was just really thankful to have a blanket and some relief, from worrying about how I'm going to gather all my things and how I'm going to get back home and all of this. So for once I could just relax. So around that time, the lady that I had spent most of my time with started getting really, really sick, and I think she was embarrassed because she had battled with, it was clear that she was coming off of something. She was having withdrawals, and most of the talks that we had before we went into population, she was, talking about her kids and how wonderful they were, and I understood that, that's either where she wants to be or where she sees herself or whatever. I just really enjoyed her company, and it was really a shame to see that, I guess not to very much surprise, that she was having to go through withdrawals, and it really just, my heart went out to her. And so I tried to give her space because I felt like, maybe she was embarrassed that she couldn't really live up to the stories that she had told me previously. And, but we were still very close in our bunks, and, immediately, after a little bit of time had passed, they came and got me, and they were like, clearly you don't have any sort of record, and there's no reason to hold you. You just don't have a history of anything like that. So they were going to release me, so I was able to pass out all of my supplies and cover up these girls that were younger and scared and crying, give them my blankets, which I was really that was my favorite part. But the funny part that I found, the supernatural part of it, is that out of the back room, so my friend comes out, and she's really, really sick. She just came back from whatever they call the nurses for jail, the medic or whatever, and she's chills and sweaty and not good. She's sick. And there's this lady that walked out that literally looked like a Muppet version of Meth Man and Super Nanny, my other friend. Literally looked just like a combination of the two of them. The girl walks over and grabs the bread off my friend's tray while she was in the shower and goes back in her room. Well, I'm I don't want anyone to steal her food while she's sick and she's in the shower, so I went and sat on her bed. And that indication later I found out was the fact that Meth Man and Super Nanny were actually working together to literally steal my bread. They were taking my money at that time. Because then afterwards I got out, I got everything together, I figured out how to get my Jeep out of impound. I had plenty of money to survive, to eat, to get home. And then he spent all the money on my credit card. So I wasn't able to ever get my Jeep out. And so now every time I get cold and I need a blanket, I know that that's that loop starting again. So, I don't know. I was just trying to tell that story without being ugly necessarily. It's really not about that. We've worked past those issues. I really just wanted to share with you how these things have helped me make decisions and how I identify the loops. And so also every time that I get a pack of Marlboro Lights and a vodka Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull, I know that I've reached another level. I'm getting an upgrade soon, and I just got all of those items plus a peanut butter Snickers. What? So I must be doing good. So I hope that was helpful and not too ugly. I'm really trying to just help people. So hope y'all have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.